Good morning, students. Today, in this video, we will discuss about performance of contract of sales. Contract of sales is based on a reciprocal promise. What is a reciprocal promise? Promise between, or it's a reciprocal agreement or a contract. Reciprocal contract means the buyer agreed to deliver the goods to the seller and the seller agreed to pay the price to the buyer to the seller. So the seller promised to deliver the goods and the buyer promised to pay the price for that. That is how we make a contract of sales. So from the part of the seller, it is mandatory that the goods has to be delivered to the buyer, and from the part of the buyer, it is mandatory that it should be delivered to the it should be paid to the seller. Now, what is the delivery? We will discuss about these two aspects now. What is a delivery? A delivery is a voluntary transfer of possession of goods from one person to another. The seller voluntarily transfer the possession of the goods to the seller, to the buyer, or to another person. Can be called delivery. Now, what are the types of deliveries? The delivery may be of actual delivery. Say, I'm not talking in the context of Sale of Goods Act, but any kind of delivery of goods or any land or something like that can be actually delivered the goods. Say I buy a Bentley car or an Audi car, I transfer, say the showroom transfer this car to me. So that is the actual delivery. It will be there in my possession. Number 2 is constructive delivery. Constructive delivery. Say, when we say constructive delivery, it is a symbolic delivery. The actual delivery will not take place. Say, I buy a land. Can I take the delivery of land? No, it is not possible. So, in that case, it can be of a constructive delivery or symbolic delivery. How do we do the symbolic delivery? The symbolic delivery will be done maybe by transferring the deed, or it's also called land deed or something like that. So the symbolic delivery happens, not the actual delivery, but constructively or symbolically they transfer the deliver the goods. It can be by handing over the deed of land, or maybe in some other way. So these are the two way of delivery of goods. It is the it is the duty of the seller to deliver the goods. Now we will go to the right of the buyer and the right of the sellers. This part we should be very clearly understood. What are the right of the buyer and what are the right of the sellers? The right of the buyers. Number 1, as we discussed, he is entitled to get the delivery of goods. No need to explain it because there is a reciprocal promise from the part of the seller and the buyer. The seller's promise is he will deliver the goods. So it is the right of the buyer to get the goods. Claim delivery of all goods. Say sometime if the seller deliver the goods partly, he have a right to claim the all goods. Maybe sometime they deliver the goods in installment. So in that case, they have a right to claim the full goods. Say we have a promise to contract or deliver the 100 bags of rice. Say first they delivered 25 bags of rice. Again they delivered 25 bags of rice. So and at the end they are not delivering the 25, the fourth installment. So the buyer have a right to claim the whole amount of goods. Number 3 or C, in case of the installment delivery, the buyer can repudiate the contract, all contract of any defect of non-delivery of any installment. Say for example, say if the the seller is delivering the goods in installment, then the buyer can repudiate or terminate the contract in case if there is any defect in any installment. Say the seller cannot say this is say the previous installment was good and the previous delivery was good, so you have to accept that. It is a right of the buyer to cancel the contract or repudiate the contract if there is any defect in any installment. Okay, then buyer has a right to reasonable right to examine the goods. He has to see whether the goods is defected or below quality. So he has a right to examine the goods, a reasonable right to examine the goods. It is not like each and every point, but how the things are happening in the market or how the things are happening in a normal business courses. He has a right to do that. Then buyer has a right to accept or reject the goods. Say buyer has a right to accept the goods or reject the goods. Now if the buyer reject the goods, is not bound to deliver the goods to the seller. Say the buyer, if suppose the buyer rejecting the goods, then is it a responsibility of the buyer to re-deliver the goods to the seller? No, the answer is no. He has a right to, he can give a notice that he has rejected the goods and he can keep it in his house. That's it. Okay. Then if the seller reject the delivery, buyer can sue. In case if the seller reject the delivery of the goods, buyer can sue for delivery of goods. Can file a case, sue means file a case against the seller for delivery of goods. Then in case of the breach of contract from the part of the seller, buyer can claim interest for the advanced amount paid. Suppose the buyer paid an advance amount of 10,000 rupees and the seller made a breach of contract, then buyer can claim interest amount for the amount he has paid. So these are the right of the buyer. Now let us check out the right of the seller. If the buyer refuses to pay the price, seller can sue for the damages. If the buyer refuses to pay the price for the, automatically the seller also has certain right. So the first right is actually buyer has to pay the price. Say when we talk about the right of the buyer, it will be basically for the delivery, because the sellers promise to deliver the goods. When we talk about the right of the seller, it will be about the price, because the buyer promised to pay the price. So the right of the seller should be definitely about the price. I think you understood the logic what I'm saying. When we talk about the right of the seller, it will be basically for the price of the buyer promised to pay. When we talk about the right of the buyer, it will be about the right, the promise that the seller made based on the delivery of goods. Okay, so the right of the seller will be based on the price. If the buyer refuses to pay the price, seller can sue for the damages. He can file a case for getting the compensation. Damages means the compensation. If the ownership is transferred, the buyer refuses to pay the price, the seller can file a case for recovery of goods. Either he can file a case for damages, or he can say recovery of goods. I am selling my Audi car to another person, Mr. B, and the full ownership is transferred, but he is not paying the price. So I can file a case for recovering my Bentley car. Then the seller has a right to recover the interest from the date on which the price was payable. Means the buyer has to pay, maybe goods may be delivered or not. It's not the issue. Say today the buyer has to pay the price, and buyer made a default in payment of the price. Then the seller can charge interest from the day to day. Say if buyer made a default in payment of price for 1 month, then seller can charge interest for the price the buyer has to pay. So these are some of the major right of the buyer and the seller. What I'm saying is the right of the buyer will be based on the delivery, the right of the seller will be based on the price, because these are the promise they made each other reciprocally. Now, now the question is, who is unpaid seller? Just imagine who could be the unpaid seller. Unpaid seller is very clearly explained in in Sale of Goods Act of 1930, section 45, clause 1. Section 45, clause 1 is very clearly explaining about unpaid seller. So who is an unpaid seller? Number one, who has not been paid the all or part of the price of the goods sold. A person who sold the goods either partly or all sold the goods, not paid, the buyer has not paid the money, either full amount or part of the amount. So even if you are defaulted in payment of even a single penny, the buyer is the seller is unpaid seller. The full amount or part amount also will be, the seller will be treated as unpaid seller. Now, number two, who has received the bill of exchange or any other negotiable instruments such as check, draft, bill of exchange or anything, who received a bill of exchange, maybe the payment will be after 3 months, but which is subsequently dishonored. Subsequently dishonored means that check is or bill of exchange is dishonored, the payment become defaulted. Even then, the buyer will be unpaid seller. For example, say I am a seller of a retail shop, and one person gave me a check. Say when I submitted that check in the bank, it was a blank check, or it was check without any amount in the bank account. Then that check is bounced back. If the check bounce, automatically it is if the check is dishonored, automatically I will also be part of unpaid sellers. Okay. Now, what are the rights and duties of unpaid sellers? Yes, right of unpaid sellers. So the right of unpaid seller can be of two categories. Category number one is against the goods. Against the goods. Then category number two is against the buyer personally. Against the buyer personally, we can file a case, and we can have certain right against the goods we sold also. So the right of unpaid seller against the goods, number one, right to lien. We can suppose the goods have sold, but the buyer is not paying the money. Then we can stop the goods, transfer of goods, or we can possess the goods in our hand till the date the buyer pay the money. That is right to lien. Lien we have already discussed in the previous class, so I am not going in detail with what is lien and different types of liens. Whatever it is, he has a right to possess his back. That is called right to lien. Then right to stoppage of goods in transit. Suppose the goods are delivering from Delhi to Chennai or Trivandrum or Cochin. So it is on the transit. It is in Mumbai now, for example. So the seller has a right to stop the transit or the transportation of goods, or the goods are exported to US via sea route. It may take 2-3 months sometime. So we can stop the transit of goods from the buyer can stop the transit of goods. Then right to resale. The buyer has a right. The seller has a right to resell the goods, because the seller has not paid the money. Obviously, he has because there is a breach of contract from the part of the buyer. So ownership is not transferred. As ownership is not transferred, the seller has a right to resell the goods. Now, right against the buyer personally. Definitely suit for price. Number one, you can file a case for getting the price, suit for damages, compensation, not only price, maybe sometime they can file a case for special damages because he would have expected a huge profit out of the sales. So in such circumstances, he can file a case for damage or compensation. Number three, suit for repudiation of the contract or termination of the contractual relationship. Say the contract can be terminated, you can file a case for terminating the contract between the buyer and seller and suit for interest. That we have already explained. They can file a case for the suit for interest or they can claim interest from the buyer from the date of default till the date. Okay, so from the date of default to the present date, how many days he has made a default, this buyer has defaulted in payment of price, he can file a case for interest also. So these are the right of unpaid seller. Unpaid seller is a person who has not paid the money by the buyer either partly or the full amount, or the bill of exchange or a promissory note is paid but later it is dishonored, are called unpaid sellers. So I hope you all understood this particular videos, and if you have any doubt you can clarify later. So wish you all the best. Thank you.